through that? You've gone with one specialist spinner over two.
Yes, we had, looking at the surface, and we decided that we only want to go with one spinner, and that's going to be ideal. And from the squad we know, Jamie Porter's going to miss out, Sam Gunn's going to play.
So why Rashid over Marine, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, they both bring different things to the table. I think with the amount of right-handers in what we think is going to be India's team, that he gives us a very attacking option. So, very excited about that. I think he's obviously gone with a huge amount of confidence at the minute. Seems in a really good place with his game. Obviously matured a hell of a lot since he last played Test cricket. And I feel that this is a really good side, gives us the best chance of winning in these conditions.
You say he's in a good place. Has he been affected at all by the amount of criticism, I guess, surrounding his selection? Jeffrey Boycott said today he's a sport brat. These sorts of things, has it affected him at all?
No, it doesn't look like it has at all. He's gone about his business as he has done all summer, and how he does in the one-day side. It looks like he's bowling extremely well, and hopefully he can transfer that out into the middleman.
And what have you made of the criticism around the selection? You were obviously in favour of it.
Yeah, obviously in favour of the selection, and I think it gives us a really good attacking spinning option. So in terms of the criticism, people are entitled to their opinions and to voice what they want. I probably think it's slightly unfair, but that's just my opinion.
Does it affect you at all?
No, not at all.
Patrick?
Joe, big occasion tomorrow, thousands test for England. It's not going to be full, the ground. Do you have any concerns about the future of Test cricket?
I mean, it might not be full just now, but I see that as an opportunity for people in this area in particular to come and watch some really good Test cricket. Some great players on show, two very good teams, and hopefully people will take that as an opportunity to come and fill the spaces that are available. I see a big place for Test cricket in the future, and I think it's just really important that we keep trying to take the game forward as players and keep trying to play the game in a way which is entertaining to watch. We've seen some fantastic Test matches over the years, and in recent times as well, so hopefully that can continue.
Joe, given the hundreds of bowlers that play county cricket, how comfortable are you with the fact you select someone who hasn't played with the first-class cricket for a year or so?
Well, it's a very unique scenario. Ed's come out and said the gist of things, but ultimately there's a decision that's been made that moving forward they have to be playing red ball cricket as of next year. And because of this being a sort of a one-off thing, it will get a lot of noise and attention, but I see county cricket as a big factor in developing English players. You look at some of the other young lads in this team, they've had to work extremely hard in the county game to prove themselves and get opportunities. And I don't see that being any different moving forward.
So it would be wrong if this continued ad infinitum?
It
would be wrong if this continued year on year?
Yeah, and I can't see it happening year on year. And I think with this being the case, putting that rule in place, if you like, as of next year, it makes it very clear for everyone moving forward, if they see themselves as someone that wants to play Test cricket, then they're going to have to make sure they've got a red ball contract and performing in county cricket.
Maybe rightly or wrongly, some people have suggested that you didn't want to pick Adil Rashid up until now. What's changed in your mind to actually come for him now?
Look, I've known Adil from being a really young lad at Yorkshire. He's been around the first team from probably the time I got involved in the academy. He's a very talented player, he always has been. I do think over the last couple of years his experience he's grown as a player massively. And I think he's developed his game in a way where he's got a better understanding of what he's trying to do and how he's trying to work batters out. And he's got high skill levels, which I think are very transferable into Test cricket.
When you kind of worked out how best to use him as a captain, he has spoken in the past about how he's found it difficult playing under some captains rather than others. Are you quite clear in your mind how best to handle him as a captain?
I've got a great idea of how to captain, but ultimately that story will be told in time. But as I said, I've known Adil for a long time. I've seen his success in over the last year and a half in white ball cricket in particular, and feel that I've got an opportunity now to get the best out of them in this format as well.
Yes, sir, and then Ali.
Edgbaston has been the stronghold of England for quite some time. Last few times they've played, they've won 9 times and lost just 1. Why do you think that is so?
I'm not sure. I think when we do play here, there's a fantastic atmosphere within the ground. We get some great support when we come here. And I expect that to be exactly the same this time around. I think the conditions in the past have suited us, and we've generally found a really good way of playing our cricket at our best at this venue. But ultimately, it's about starting well tomorrow, and whatever we end up doing first up, we've got to do it well, same as every test match.
Ali.
Joe, you named Josh Butler as your vice captain. He's only 2 tests into his sort of test comeback, as it were. So it's quite a bold call. Can you just explain some of the thinking behind it and what that would mean to sort of the leadership dynamic of the dressing room, etc.?
Yeah, for this series, Josh is going to be vice captain. He's obviously vice captain of the white ball side. Thinks extremely well about the game. Has got a huge amount of respect within the dressing room, and looking at very long term, like 5 to 10 years, I see him as someone that can really drive this team forward. And I think it's a great opportunity for him to start doing that now. It might be that he's only played a couple of games since he's come back into the team, but I think he can offer a huge amount with the way he conducts himself, leads, as well as what he does with the bat. So it's a great chance for him for these 5 games, and hopefully that can help this team in the future as well.
Paul.
Joe, England haven't had a great run in Test cricket this year, especially against New Zealand and Pakistan at home. But you're faced up against the world's #1 Test side. Playing in home conditions, do you think that still makes you favourite in this series?
It doesn't matter if we're favourites or not. We're going to have to play the best cricket if we want to win this series. And as you said, we've had 2 disappointing series this year so far in terms of results. But I thought the way we came back at Headingley against Pakistan was a real starting point for this group of players and an opportunity for us to build on it and to build on something moving forward long term. That is ultimately where we're at. We've got 5 games here against world #1 ranked side, where we can make a bit of a statement if we play well and we win this series. So it's going to be hard. Obviously, they've got some world class players throughout their team, and we're going to have to be very consistent in performing. And if we can do that, we'll be deserving winners.
Joe, is the appointment of Josh, an attempt to replicate what's happening in the white ball team? The white ball team have been more successful than the Test team, rather than an older player like Jimmy.
I don't think it's not a reflection on anything that Jimmy's done. I think it's just that you're looking way down the line. One thing for sure is it's not a way of pushing Jimmy out of this team. He's still going to be a massive part in driving this forward and for the next few years in particular. And he's determined to play as much cricket as he can for as long as he can. But I think it's a chance for us as a group to grab a core group of players which are playing across the formats to really drive this team in a strong direction, in a better direction than what we have been going in. And it might be a slightly bold statement, but for me, I see it as a great opportunity, and it gives us probably a different side of looking at things with maybe coming and grabbing a few things from the one-day side, not trying to replicate it, but obviously they've had huge amounts of success, and it'd be wrong not to tap into any of that at all.
And how huge is this series? The Test form has been poor. It's a big one to get right, isn't it?
It is a big one to get right, but every Test series is, especially at home, we want to make sure that you're winning those series. And you can see that hunger there in the guys in the dressing room. So I feel like we're in a good place going into it, and now it's just about delivering when it matters.
Gentleman in the front, then John.
Joe, Virat Kohli got 134 runs in 10 innings last time he played here. So, as an opposition captain, do you think somewhere down the line it's going to play on his mind and something that you can work on, and kind of in these conditions with the kind of bowlers that you have?
Maybe. I think the only person that can answer that is Virat. From our point of view, we'd love a similar sort of form, but ultimately we know how good a player he is and what he's capable of. he's come a long way in the last few years, in particular in this format, and we feel we've got some strong plans in place to him. But ultimately, when you play against the world's best players, they generally have answers, and we're going to have to be really strong on the areas we bowl to him, and be really clear how we want to get him out.
Joe, you say that Butler's elevation to the vice captaincy is for this series only. Does that suggest that Stokes might be able to come back and do the job in the future, maybe even this winter?
I mean, that's a decision for after this series, and a decision that's made above my head, so we'll have to wait and see.
How do you mean it's made above your head?
Well, there's obviously other factors involved in Ben at the moment, so until that's resolved, we'll have to make a decision.
The decision to promote Butler was yourself and Trevor, was it? I guess, was it?
Yeah, it was mainly for myself and Trevor. It was obviously discussed with the selection panel as well, but ultimately that was mine and Trevor's choice.
Yes, sir.
You picked your team, so could you just talk us through the pitch? You picked Karan over Porter. Is that indication that you expect the ball to swing more? Because there's been talk of dry summer all through. It's been raining for the last 2 days. Would you be surprised if India goes with 2 spinners? How do you feel the pitch?
In terms of India's team, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to try and have too many preconceived ideas of what they're going to throw at us. But I just felt this team gives us great balance. It gives us a huge amount of options on this surface, and I feel gives us the best chance of taking 20 wickets. So that's the thinking behind it. Gives us great variety, different angles, different spin options as well, and some world-class proven performance with new balls. So.
On the pitch, the current choice of Sam over Porter, what did you see in the pitch to choose one or the other?
As more in terms of the dynamic of the team and the makeup of it. Jamie's really impressed. He's come into the squad and he's done he's performed exactly how you'd expect him to, coming from his county side. He's been exceptional for Essex over the last 3 years in particular, and over a 5-match series, you're going to need a good, strong squad of bowlers to contribute to winning a 5-match series in 6 weeks. So we'll see what happens down the line, but ultimately it's going to be a squad performance that's going to win this series in my eyes.
Dean, and then 2 more.
You touched on Jimmy there, he was 36 yesterday, but nearing in on Glenn McGrath's record for seam bowlers. I mean, just how big a challenge is it for opposition batsmen coming to England to face Jimmy Anderson in the conditions that he knows so well?
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy's, it's hard to explain how good he is. He's got so many tricks, very consistent and proven world-class performer, especially in these conditions. He looks strong, he looks fit, and as long as that's the case, I imagine him to continue playing for a really long time. Again, it's difficult to say. It fills me with confidence having him in the side, knowing that you've got someone of that quality leading your attack, and not far behind him is Stewart. They've as a pair of, they might be more senior within this team at the moment, but just look at the way they go about things, and you can see they've got plenty of desire and hunger to go on in this format and to keep playing and sort of prove a point. And this series is another chance for them to do that. So hopefully we can see the best of them and see some real success from both of them.
Jam at the front and then finish off with you.
Joe, besides being the captain, you're also, wearing a second hat of being, the premier batsman. What's the kind of pressure which comes on you, particularly in a series like this, the 5-match series, strong opposition, number 1 ranked team? So what about the pressure, and how do you handle, generally, how do you handle pressure?
I just try and go out there and do my job. My job's out there to go and score runs. You obviously look at the side you play against, you look at the different things that different attacks will throw at you, and you try and make sure you've got good answers to the questions they ask of your technique, of your game, play the situation as much as possible, and try and stay as calm as you can. Ultimately, to win, you need your batters to score big runs, and that doesn't change whether you're playing the best side in the world or someone ranked lower down. Try not to put myself under too much pressure, just go out there and perform. It's trying not to overthink it is a big thing for me.
Last question, sir.
Yeah. Joe, in all the pre-series discussions, it's mostly Virat Kohli who featured. Then we saw the bowler who got him dismissed, even though he was not playing red ball cricket, he was brought in. Anderson kept on talking about him. The experts kept on talking about him. Is England obsessed with Kohli?
In what respect?
Overall,
he's obviously a fine player. I'm sure there are a lot of English fans out there that love watching him play. We obviously know he's a world proven performer in this format, and it's going to be very, very important for us to try and keep him quiet. But there's some other good players on show within these two teams, and it's important that we just make sure that we outperform India as a whole.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.